Alright, so hi guys. So before I get into the video, I just want to do a quick disclaimer. I know that the art in this video is complete and utter shit. I didn't really try as hard as I should have, and sometimes I just don't give a shit because I have been super busy, and that is the reason I could not upload a video last week, was because I was so busy. And I've just been super busy and trying to stay up late to finish this, but then I got super tired and I had to finish it last minute early this morning. So I didn't really care when it came out like shit. It was started off coming out really bad, so I just decided to let it turn to shit. So if you look at the art by the end of the video and you're about ready to bitch at me in the comments or tell me how I could have fixed this piece, one, I'm well aware I could have fixed this piece, constructive criticism or not. I know what I did wrong and I know how to fix it. Well, I know I could have fixed it for the most part. Two, if you're gonna shit at me in a non-constructive way, just leave because I'm already well aware that it's complete and utter shit, and I really don't care. And if you're gonna bitch at me for not caring, also you could leave because I don't care that I don't even care. So yeah, I just want to get that quickly out of the way. The drawing itself is not bad, but how I painted it is terrible. Anyways, this is going to be a quick Meteos video for Lavender and Crocus. This one might be, sorry if I sound sick and I keep sniffling. I am kind of sick. This one might be a little bit shorter than the other two because the characters in this one do not really, they're not as important as in the other two, so there's not as much I can say. They're really just parents to Mike, who is important to a lot of the my tortoises. And yeah, so we'll start with Lavender. So Lavender basically is Mike's birth mother, and Mike is another one of my OCs who will be probably in the next Meet the OC video whenever that comes out. Mike is Lavender's birth mother, and not Mike. Lavender is Mike's birth mother, and Lavender gave birth to Mike after she had broken up with Ben, the demon ruler, the demon realm king. Lavender used to be dating Ben, the demon realm king, until she found out that her family and Ben's family, her family, well, I don't know, but just her family and Ben's family, the Cyphers, back in the wartime long ago, kind of had a fight and they fought against each other, and her family was fighting against Ben's family. Her family was on the evil side, and Ben's family was on the good side. And basically, when she found all that stuff out, due to her parents explaining it to her, she no longer wanted to date Ben. So she broke up with him and then became super evil and stuff. Because she started off really nice and sweet, but then she became evil when she found out her whole family history and everything. She became evil because everyone else in her family was evil. So she kind of had to live up to that, and then she became evil, and she broke up with Ben when they were engaged, and then she went to a bar, kind of feeling down and cruddy, and then got herself drunk, feeling a bit depressed after breaking up with Ben and everything, not really knowing what she wanted in life. So she went to a bar and found this hobo, and then had drunk sex with the hobo, leading to her giving birth to Mike in her house alone with nobody there. And then when Mike was around 12, well, not 12. When Mike was around 10, she was kind of depressed, and it was like the anniversary day of when she broke up with Ben, and she still didn't have anyone else in her life. She wasn't like seeing anyone or anything. And she went to this Japanese restaurant where Crocus worked, and he still works there. And at the Japanese restaurant, she kind of got drunk at the sushi bar. Not really like drunk off of wine or anything. She just kind of went to the sushi bar, and for some reason, she had a bunch of soy sauce and kind of got drunk off that. Well, I jokingly like to say she got drunk off that. And then she started talking her mouth off really late at night, explaining the whole story of how she broke up with Ben and everything to Crocus. And then Crocus kind of felt bad for her, so he asked her out on a date. And then they started dating for a while, behind Mike's back, actually, because Lavender was scared to tell Mike that she had a boyfriend because she knew Mike would get very salty, so to speak, and be angry that she was dating someone because in Mike's life it's always just been Mike and Lavender living together. He never really had a father, so he didn't really want one because he never had one to want one, so he didn't really want one. So Lavender kind of kept it from him. However, she told Crocus that she had a son. She just never formally introduced them. Crocus just knew about Mike, but Mike never knew about Crocus. Then eventually Mike and Lavender decided, not Mike and Lavender, oh gosh, Lavender and Crocus decided to get married. And when Lavender and Crocus decided to get married, legit a week before they were about to get married, finally Lavender just goes, well, you're gonna have a new father now, Mike, and just throws Crocus at Mike. And of course Mike doesn't want this wedding to happen, so Mike tries to stop the wedding, feeling like Crocus is going to be a bad addition to the family, yada yada. Stereotypically, I don't want a new father. It's always just been me and you type thing that you'll see in the movies. That basically happened with Mike, and he didn't want a new father. So he tried to stop the wedding, but then eventually he warmed up to Crocus and everything. And now they're pretty cool. And Mike actually sees Crocus as his father. Technically, Crocus is his stepfather, but Mike never really met his real father at all and doesn't really know his real father. So to Crocus, to Lavender, not Lavender, to Mike, Crocus is his like real father because he's never had a real father, never met one, never had one. So yeah, and they're tight. Lavender herself is evil, and she raised Mike, her son, to be evil as well, which is why Mike has the evil twerk group. And her favorite color is purple. She is in her 40s, and her favorite flower is lavenders because her name is Lavender. And Crocus is in his 40s as well. He has a very Japanese aesthetic to him, and he likes Japanese stuff. He works at a Japanese restaurant. He likes Japanese music. His family actually is part Japanese, despite the fact that he's a demon. His family actually has a history where, in the past, his family lived in the human realm in Japan in the human realm, but then they eventually moved back to the demon realm, their native land, since they were demons technically. So they eventually moved back to the demon realm. Long story short, so his family technically did live in Japan of Earth for a while before moving back to the demon realm. So he actually is technically Japanese because of that. So there's also going going for him. And yeah, basically that's it. Japanese and all that. He has a very Japanese aesthetic. Both Lavender and Crocus do dye their hair, so their hair is actually both brown, but then they dye them. And Mike dyes his hair too. Basically, their whole family dyes their hair. And yeah, also, I guess I should say what their powers are. Lavender has the power of flowers, so she can make flowers grow out of the ground and make things like flower cages around her enemies and things like that. She can basically manipulate flowers and plants. She also has seductive powers, so she can be quite seductive and make people fall for her as a power, even though Crocus doesn't like her to do that. And yeah, eventually I might add more powers to her, but so far those are the main two powers I associate her with, along with all the powers that every other demon normally has: teleportation, snapping things up, that stuff. And Crocus has the power of cooking, so he can cook up a bunch of potions and spells type things, but they're like food spells that he can use to either enhance his food or to poison people with. And they're like kind of like potiony spell things, but they're used for cooking specifically. He also has the power to be able to understand any language and speak in any language. I looked up online this power, and there is a name for it. I just can't remember it. And then he also has the power to change his physical appearance, so he can like make himself Native American if he wants to. He can like be any species. He can like just change his physical appearance so he can look like any type of human: Japanese, Native American, white, African American, etc. He can like do all that stuff. And he might have other powers in the future, but those are the ones I came up with for him as of now. And the only other thing you need to know is Crocus can cook up any Japanese dish, and he is really great at cooking up Japanese dishes, and is very skilled with a knife because he works in a Japanese restaurant, doing like cutting of sushi and all that stuff. Like, those Japanese restaurants where they cook the food in front of you? He can basically do that if you needed to. And because he can do that, that makes him very skilled with a knife, meaning if he ever had to fight his enemies, he could use a knife and or sword very skillfully, which comes in handy because, Lavender's evil, she kills people, so he helps her with that. And he also has a cat. Well, he has a cat named Juno, and the cat really loves him, and yeah, that is it. So, if you have any other questions about Crocus or Lavender, leave them in the comments below, and I'm sorry that this video sucks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!